What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, breweries, basically anybody in, around, or passing through the city of brotherly love that makes this place as awesome as it is. We caught up with Mr. Jose Martinez of Grandaire Booking. It was kind of a random interview, man. They were passing out flyers for this Halloween festival that they have going on called Electric Halloween. And one of the bands that I saw on the bill was Fit for an Autopsy, and I had interviewed Fit for an Autopsy years ago, but I also saw like Solar Circuit was on there, so I was shocked to see like this metal band with this side band, and so I was interested in speaking to him about it. So we talked to him. We talked about some of the bands that are going down in Electric Halloween, and just so that you know, Electric Halloween seems to be dope. It's endorsed by Dom. For Mr. Dominic Stone, who does FamFest. His band Freeze is going to be performing there as well. But, dude, it's a camping. Like, you fucking go out there and you fucking camp over the weekend and check out all of these badass bands. Tickets are only like $60 for the weekend. For the weekend, $60. You can't beat it, man. There's a gang of bands on there. Fit for an Autopsy, Strawberry Girls, The Mantras, Narbot, Freeze, Solar Circuit, Frank Sriracha. You've got Diverse, Magnetic, Pansong. We kind of go through some of these bands. We also go through some of the sponsors and kind of say what they contributed to each, contributed to it this year. But it's going to be a dope event. It takes place Friday, October 19th and Saturday, October 20th at the Southwind Vineyard and Winery, which is located in Millville. I guess it's about a half hour outside of Philly, but it seems like it's going to be dope. He's got a lot going on. This is the seventh time. I believe it's the seventh time that he's done this, and it has just kind of evolved into this maddening 2-day event. I would really like to be there. I wish I could. It's like the day after my birthday. But I recommend you definitely go. Joe is a cool dude, a very sincere guy. Seems to like really love what he's doing. And I'm stoked about it. I'm stoked about this event. I'm stoked to have met him. And I wish him all the best of luck. And this is the homies interview, man. Mr. Jose. Talk to you later. Check. Can you do
check.
Perfect.
Here we are.
All right, man. So this is a bit of an impromptu interview. We're at Sensorium, and I ran into this dude who is throwing the Electric Halloween 2018, which is going down Friday, October 19th and Saturday, October 20th. It's a music and camping festival, and we're going to get into that. This is taking place in Millville, New Jersey. All right, brother. What is your name, and where are you from?
Hey there again, Shane. My name is Jose Martinez, and I run Grandaire Booking.
Awesome, man. So, Jose, what is Grandaire Booking? Tell me about that.
So, Grandaire Booking has been the love of my life since I was 17. It's been an event planning company that I've been hosting now, going into my 7th year. And I'm pretty happy to see it grow as much as it has so far, and I'm excited to see what the future brings.
All right, so this is your 7th year. You've got the reason that I'm going to tell you why this intrigues me. Okay, this is the Electric Halloween, and the first one on the bill is Fit for an Autopsy. I actually got to interview Fit for an Autopsy.
No way!
In El Paso, Texas.
Yo, that's sick. El Paso, Tejas.
You can YouTube it and you'll see that. So the other thing that caught my eye is that you guys have Solar Circuit here as well,
yes.
Which is a Philly band.
Yes.
So Fit for an Autopsy is a fucking metal band.
Yes, it
Crazy
is.
metal band. And then you've got them on there, Solar Circuit on there, which is like a trippy psychedelic band.
Yes.
So tell me, what the fuck are we supposed to expect at this festival? This is not like
this is real life.
Yeah.
The way I've always looked at music and real music lovers is we don't just listen to one kind of music. You know what I mean? Real experiences don't come from you staying at home doing the same thing every day. It comes from you going out of your comfort zone and really pushing yourself to be like, hey, I'll be open to this. Let me go out for a night. Let me go to this winery. Let me go have some wine. Let me go check out this metal band and then go check out this prog psychedelic funk band. Then let me go catch this magic show and maybe I'll go catch that like folk band as well.
There's going to be a magic show?
Yeah, there's a magic show every single year with Magic Mike.
Wow, man. All right, so who else has been? How many years have you done this one?
This is my 7th year now going on to it.
Oh, this is your 7th year on this specific event.
Yeah.
Dude, so has it always been like that?
Yes.
Like this really
mixed genre. The first one was actually in a small disabled American Veterans Hall. Shout out to the Disabled Vets, Chapter 66, Hamilton, New Jersey. They helped me out a lot, and they're like good father figures for me growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm very involved in the community in my town. I do a lot of like youth outreaching, and we do a lot of mental health awareness festivals. We try doing as much as we can to give the kids a platform for themselves to go out there and know that they're involved and they have a say in what goes on in their area.
Wow, man, that's really admirable,
yeah,
dude.
South Jersey, man. You know what I mean? We got to try having something.
Right. So it's always had this type of
mixed genre,
mixed genre, right? You started out throwing it at a hall, and now it's at a Vineyard and Winery.
Yes.
Tell me that. Tell me
the
what
transition.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
cool. So, I guess the easiest way to go ahead and say how it's happened is it was like 2012, and we were at the Disabled American Veterans Hall. It was a 5-band bill. My band was playing. I'm in a band called Your Persona as well. We're also playing the festival this year. And it was really mind-blowing, I guess, to see the reaction from everybody, because not only was it a huge turnout, it was a turnout I wasn't really prepared for, just because when you bring different groups of people together like that, and you have as strong headliners as I would try doing, you always are expected to have a great turnout. And the first 3 years, it wasn't even a festival yet. You know what I mean? It was just like a one-day, like Friday, Saturday night show. And then, like, after my 3rd year, I actually ended up blockading the entire street, and the cops ended up shutting us down twice. It was a really funny night, actually. I loved it. It was at the Puerto Rican Civic Hall. We ended up moving to a bigger venue because the other one we had outgrown. And so, unfortunately, the amount we grew our 3rd year was surpassed what I expected as well. So that's when we ended up moving to Paradise Lakes, where a lot of the other festivals happen now over in Hamilton. And then probably into our 6th year, which was last year, we ended up going to the winery. We wanted to kind of have a little bit more of an individual touch to it. We wanted to go to somewhere that was new and fresh and have an atmosphere where people could go for the fall and enjoy themselves and do something a little different.
So how many people are usually in attendance?
Last year we had around over 600 and so.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. And tickets are pretty cheap too, for considering the fact that it's a camping festival for 2 nights, and that there's costume contests, magic shows, all vendors, food trucks, and all this kind of music. The tickets right now, the pre-sales, I think we actually might have just ran out of the pre-sale tickets. They were $50, and now they're only $65.
A night or?
For the weekend.
$65 for the whole weekend, and you get to camp over?
Yeah.
What?
Growing up, especially being as punk as I am at heart, I always was, I felt bad asking my mom for that $5 or $10 to a show, because I come from a poor family, and so that matters a lot to the family, and we always tried doing what we could to get kids in either for free or at a discounted price. So I think something like this, there should be a lower price range for people to be able to kind of really experience at a costly level, where they can still go out and get food and go to the vendors, and everyone can have a bit of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm trying to reinvest anything I get into the next year. It's about building the brand. You know what I mean?
So, walk me through this. So, how did you link up with Fit for an Autopsy? They're a New Jersey band. I know that.
I think they're actually New York. Are they New Jersey?
Maybe it is New York.
They're all new, right? So the way that I ended up linking up with them.
I think they have members in New Jersey and
New
York.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense. Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah, you're probably right about that for sure. So the way I ended up linking up with them was actually through, I met their booking agent at this festival called the Pinelands Music Festival that my manager, Nick DeLuise, runs. It was a festival for 2 years until he moved over back to the West Coast. And it was the early November, Ex-Ambassadors, Hawthorne Heights, 68, all these bands that in South Jersey over in Millville. And it was a really awesome, inspiring thing to be able to work with him, because it really kind of gave me that push to be yo, if someone from my area was able to do something like this, that means that I'm not far off myself. And at the event, he actually introduced me to Jonathan, who is their booking agent, and I talked to him, and I was hey man, I really want to like get into booking, and I really want to try doing something for my area. And so he gave me his card like 3 years ago, and we ended up linking up again because of my friend Sean Salm, who does the talent buying over at Voltage Lounge. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same guy. We ended up reconnecting through that, got on a phone call, and next thing you know, I have Fit for an Autopsy on the festival.
Very cool, man. Strawberry Girls, what genre is that?
That's kind of like more in the progressive rock, kind of like Chon, kind of like Polyphia area. It's very like progressive and super jammy, but it's definitely something more that the kids in, I guess, an alternative music scene would know better than most jam kids. And so that's what I like about this festival too, is that I'm able to introduce so many different things to the other side that they might not know about, that they might also really be like more than glad to have in their life now.
So what kind of vendors are you going to have at the event?
Oh, right now we're actually still looking for vendors. I'm not disclosing any of that information yet, but we definitely will have an array of different Halloween vendors, to art performers, to even our own fire team coming out again this year to go ahead and represent a little bit. So I'm pretty hyped for it. Everything's like about to be announced within the next 2 weeks as far as like vendors and artists go, and there's still time to sign up. If you go to electrichalloween.com, you'll find a majority of the information on there. And if not, you can just email grandairebooking@gmail.com if you want to be involved, if you're a performing artist or someone who spins fire and would love to come out as well. And even as far as like it goes for vendors, like we're always looking for something special and weird to come out and fit the vibe.
Awesome, man. So you're still looking for vendors. The crazy may apply, right?
I would really encourage it. One thing I want people to understand from Electric Halloween is I want them to have, and I keep saying real because, you know, you get to hear all kinds of opinions and different kinds of views when you run into people outside of your circle. And you get to embrace that Halloween spirit of being spooky, of being something different and weird, and be embraced for and appreciated for once, which is something that I've always found amazing, you know what I mean, that people can be something they're not and actually be that thing for that night.
So let's talk about some of the sponsors you have on here. Who is DFX? What does DFX Sound Vision do?
DFX is going to be doing the lighting for us this year. They're an amazing company that's been helping us out, honestly, since 2015 with another festival that I do called Sad Fest, which is a Suicide Addiction Depression Awareness Festival. And I guess through meeting up with them, pitching them the entire event, we just kind of grew a relationship from there. And at the end of the day, nothing really beats their pricing and their work ethic. They've always been an amazing production company as far as it goes with like sound rental or lighting, and just like the enthusiasm that they have behind the pre-production of it. It's always really encouraging.
Awesome. And Lost Compass, who are they?
Lost Compass is actually one of the other people who are involved with Sensorium. They are another production company that I am doing a lot of work with this year. They're helping me out with some staging, some sorry, I had to burp. Some coordinating as far as like the actual land goes, and all the way down to other logistics with other coordinator positions. They're just great people to have on the team. I've known them for a few years now, so it's cool to have them on board. Shout out to Roger, shout out to Mickey.
All right, man. So you've got Audio Addiction here. I guess they're going to help out with sound.
So Audio Addiction, actually, that's the very cool thing. I'm happy about that. Expect a mountain of media to come from Electric Halloween this year. I've put a lot of investing this year into doing media packages for bands. So now what I'm offering bands basically is every band from the start is getting a free interview. So right off, like, they're going to get an interview at Electric Halloween where they'll be able to make plugs about their upcoming music they might have released, and either upcoming shows and their experience at Electric Halloween, all the way to photos and even recap videos, and maybe even a grand package that we have together, all of it. That comes with a bottle of wine. I'm just really trying to, we recognize over at Grandaire Booking that content is king, and that we need to do everything we can to help out the bands that are on the festival this year, because the more that we're able to push them, the further it'll push the festival in the end as well.
So that's what Audio Addiction is bringing to the table?
Audio Addiction does majority of just interviews, and does a few other things like photos, etc. on the side.
Awesome. S&H, dude, what is this?
Which one?
S&H.
Shit happens.
Okay.
Yeah, my boys.
I saw a dude with a shirt with that on there.
Yeah, there's a few people around here with Shit Happens shirts. They're awesome people. They're very... Oh, look, there's the alien from Electric Halloween.
Oh, is the alien's gonna be there?
Yeah, that alien dude over there.
Yeah.
If you guys were here, I would explain to you. So there's a rumor going around that aliens are actually behind Electric Halloween, and they're the ones who have really been helping me put it on this whole time. So be on the lookout. Don't get abducted. And if you meet an alien, come in with open arms. They're really friendly, I swear.
Awesome, man. They come in peace. So what is Shit Happens, by the way?
Shit Happens.
Is it a clothing line or?
It's Shit Happens.
Closer,
I like
closer,
to look at them
closer.
I like to look at them as like an entire brand, like just like I do at myself. You know what I mean? Like they deal a lot with. Thank you, Mr. Alien. They do a lot of their own showcasings. They promote a lot of their own electronic kind of like jam bands as well. But they also work with a lot of artists as well too. So they're very into promoting their local community as well, which I'm very in support of.
Awesome, man. Repair Wizards.
Repair Wizards. Listen, if you're ever in South Jersey and your iPhone cracks, because we know it will, and your Android for some reason actually isn't waterproof like it said it was, go to Repair Wizards. They'll fix it up for you at a great price. They're one of our sponsors this year, and they're also going to have a phone charging station at Electric Halloween because we got to keep the content up. People need to have their phones to flex the good time that they're having because their friends missed out, and you guys know who you are. Maybe you can change your mind now and come out to Electric Halloween and not let them flex without you.
So what advice do you have for throwing a good event?
Be genuine. You know what I mean? Like anything that's I feel like it'll always get harder as it gets bigger because there's always going to be that touch to having a smaller festival. At first I realized that it's a lot more authentic with the community, and I'm not saying that it disappears, but I definitely would say that it's important to break down walls and get people to interact with each other. That's why we have things like the mummy rap, we have pumpkins and piñatas, we have all kinds of games to get people to kind of get to know one another. We also have a community campfire where we just have like a whole setup of like hay barrels and people to just hang out and get to talk to each other. If you want to have a good event, you got to make sure you plan ahead. You got to make sure you got a great team behind you, and you got to make sure that everyone who is involved on the team is passionate about it like you are, and that you lead with that example, and that you let them know that this is something that's not going to just be benefiting one person but the whole entire family in general.
Who are you most excited to see on this bill?
Oh my gosh. Most excited. Okay, so right before my set, like I said before, I'm in a band called Your Persona. There's this band, a Philly local called KLP. They are doing great things right now in the Philadelphia music scene. They're really making moves out there, and they're really breaking the mold of what their genre is. And like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like some weird like metalcore kind of like, I don't know. They're great. I'm really excited to see them, and obviously I'm excited to see Fit for an Autopsy and Strawberry Girls. But I would definitely put my money on Kanashi for me being the most excited.
So let me ask this: these two are headliners. Is everybody else here headliner? Are these locals?
So which ones don't think these?
Let me ask this: who are locals on here?
Oh well, for the most part, some of them like. It's a little bit of like 3/4 locals, another quarter all over from throughout the East Coast. Because even Strawberry Girls, they're from California. They're flying out to the festival. So technically, we have an international roster coming through right now because of some of the other acts that are traveling afar as well.
So are the ones on but these right here below, are any of these guys local folks?
Yeah, a few of them are local. I would say like Freeze, another Philly.
Oh, Freeze is going to be on there.
Freeze is on the bill.
All right,
Dom
man.
Stone is my boy, if you know
okay.
Dom Stone.
Yeah.
I love him. He's going to be there. Frank Sriracha, Euphonious, Rich People, another great band right now that's doing very well in the music scene. And we actually just added on Heather Gray and Sun Title as well, who are other locals within the music scene I work a lot with that are doing wonderful things. But I would also tell you that some out-of-state acts that are coming through, like The Harkening, don't miss them. It's like the most Halloween thing you'll ever see in your life. It's just the angriest, heaviest thing with the most theatrical antics. They're so engaging, and they have so much going on at once. It's a wonderful act. So I'm excited for them. They actually just played with Fit for an Autopsy a few weeks ago.
Wow, man. So what about your band? What's your band like?
My band's kind of like alternative post-hardcore. We like a lot of bands like The Used, Census Fail, Thrice. the early November. And I don't know, but it's weird because like sometimes we're a little bit like heavier and sometimes we're a little bit more indie, and like it's this weird mesh of things that we don't really like to stick to one thing most of the time, but I feel like we do a good job in mixing it all together. We're actually about to be releasing some new music soon, and I'm really excited about that. But we're playing the same night on Saturday with Fit for an Autopsy in Kayanashi.
All right, so that's awesome, man. That is really cool. You guys go on tour a lot? You guys play Philly ever?
We do a lot of.
Have you played with Freeze?
We've actually have played with Freeze some. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I've played with Freeze yet. This is going to be our first time. I hang out so much with Dom Stone, and I work so closely with him all the time that sometimes even if I go to a show, I'm like, yeah, I played today, even if I didn't. And it's just like that. There's that connection there, which I really enjoy about this festival, is that everyone who keeps joining our family over here, they feel like they need to bring the rest of their family, and then we all end up coming together, and it's like such a reassuring thing when we're able to. Funny note. So many people the first year when we became a festival were upset because they were like, oh, there's too much hardcore music or there's too much electronic music. And you know what's great? I never heard that complaint ever again after the first year because people then recognized, oh, wait, this is what I'm getting myself into. It's a mixed genre festival. I better go if I'm down to get down with everything.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Dom's actually been on the podcast. I interviewed him right before he did FamFest.
I was a sponsor for FamFest.
Okay, great. Awesome. What was your role in FamFest?
Basically, helping out as much as I could with promotional and maybe like a few logistical things here and there. Dom, this is a shout out to you. One, he's a control freak, so he doesn't let anyone help him, but he did let me help in some ways. A few of us did get a chance to get closer with him on it, and I thought it was a very great event. He does an amazing thing for the Philly music scene because as far as that genre goes, besides This Is Hardcore, he's the only other one who's really trying to branch out of hardcore and metalcore or anything like that and really try engaging a wider audience.
Yeah, he makes it seem effortless. You say he's a control freak, but it really does make it appear like
that's
like
what I'm getting at. Maybe it's because it's so easy for him that he doesn't need help. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just happy that he lets me be a part of it, and I'm happy to have him be a part of what I'm doing.
Right on, man. I know he's one of the, he's one of the dudes at GoPuff. Is GoPuff going to be involved in any way with your event?
Not this year, but I'm hoping next year to be getting a lot of really big sponsors involved just because of the amount of planning that went in this year. We got a lot of the logistical kind of like organization, like booking out of the way, and we have like our feet really rooted in now with what we're going to need for next year. So I'm going to be chasing sponsors heavy next year.
So is this the event on the back of one that you're a part of, or are you?
That's actually an event that our friends in Lost Compass are doing.
Awesome.
If you want to like talk about that for a
second. So
second.
that's OTT Last Night in Sweden Tour Fall 2018. It's going to have music, a visual show from Kaya Project. It's going to be a DJ set. You've got Nick Holden on there. And there is a funny-looking motherfucking emoji on here. They've also got some special guests, which is going to be rad. That's going down Friday, September 21st at Underground Arts. Tickets at undergroundarts.org. Dude, is there anything else that you would like to add? Maybe that I missed. We didn't talk about.
I guess like really the most I would want to like go ahead and make sure is that people bring their best costumes out because we do have singles and doubles on costumes Friday, then Saturday night.
Yeah, you mentioned that there were several contests. What contests do you have going on at that event?
At what, Electric Halloween?
Yeah, you mentioned contests. Was I wrong?
Yeah, so there, besides the costume contest, we will also be having this year. We're talking about it. Maybe if someone hears this, they can reach out to us. We're thinking about doing. We did a pie eating contest last year, and it was like a whole thing. It was really funny. We like sat everyone down. They got on their knees, tied their hands behind their back, and they just had to eat it with just their mouths to see who won. That was 2 years ago. So besides the costume contest, it's more like interactive games this year. My bad. Like we do have the mummy wrap where people roll their friends around in toilet paper to see who can make a mummy first. Pumpkins and piñatas. We're going to be hanging up piñatas and giving people small pumpkins to project at the piñatas. Because like what better title than pumpkins and piñatas? I don't know. There's so much going on. It really is just like a big thing, and I'm happy to know that it's coming to fruition again this year.
I'm surprised you don't have any comedians on there. Like,
you know what's crazy? There's two things I want at E-Halloween. I want comedians and I want luchadors. I want, like, if I could get, like,
Fuck
some
yeah.
wrestlers, oh, that'd be it. It'd be lit. No one's going to say, why am I going to go there? What do you mean? They're luchadoring out there.
Yeah, dude, that would be.
Yeah.
I would love that. Man.
I really, it's always been, I love comedy, and I've always wanted to definitely get more comedy involved. So probably the more I try venturing into that, and that's been a big goal for mine this upcoming year, is to, like, really start getting involved in the comedy scene within the local area and see if I can find some people who can really kill it.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for your time. I hope everybody comes out to Electric Halloween. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, man. I may not be able to be there, but I look forward to seeing what the aftermath is. And congratulations, Jose. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you so much again.
You bet.